Hi, Kelly Eckholt here to update you on the key events of the week. So this week everybody's quite firmly focused on the outcome of Saturday's election, but before we get to that I want to update you on some of the interesting bits of economic data that came out this week. So of key interest was the migration data, which suggested that inward migration flows continue to be very strong. We had 110,000 people enter the country on a net basis in the last 12 months, which surpasses our forecasts and is adding a lot to both demand and supply in the economy right now. On the demand side, we anticipate that that's going to impact the housing market and the rental market, particularly next year. Even though this week some of the data that we saw on the housing market suggests that things have just taken a little bit of a pre-election pause there for the time being. We also released the outcome of our new regional roundup survey that we put out, and that shows that migration is being felt around the country, and especially in the sense that firms are generally finding it much easier to source staff than they could do a little while ago. Demand is actually coming off quite a bit out there in the regions, but a bit less so in some of those parts of the country that are seeing incoming tourism flows, places like Otago and Canterbury in particular. Cost pressures remain pretty strong out there around the country, and that means that next week's CPI is going to be of particular interest in the markets. We've pinned back our CPI forecast for next week a bit, reflecting the fact that some lower food price data came out this week, but it's still going to be a pretty high one. Thinking about the election, markets are particularly focused on the extent to which we're going to get a clean result as opposed to potentially protracted coalition negotiations. Polls tend to suggest that we're looking at a centre-right type coalition, although the increasing degree of support seen for some of the smaller third parties is introducing a little bit more uncertainty about that. I'll talk to you again next week.